Now, where are you from?
The roots of where I come from is Buffalo, New York, but I was raised in Atlanta.
Born in Buffalo. How old were you when you moved from Buffalo to Atlanta?
I was really young. I was pretty much like a infant, like a baby and everything, and then I would go like back and forth and everything.
I see. What was the reasoning? Parents separated?
Well,
Because you said you went back and forth and everything.
yeah. The last time I was there, I was 14 years old, and I was there like for reunion. But my mom, like I said, she came down here and everything as far as like finding better opportunity for work, and plus, it's there's 4 seasons up north, of course, and she didn't want to deal with the cold anymore.
So, okay, so when you said back and forth, you didn't mean like your parents were separated and you were visiting each parent. You meant back and forth as in you had family still in Buffalo, so you would often visit?
I would stay there and everything, and I would visit a lot too.
I see. Still got family there?
Yep.
How often do you go back nowadays?
I haven't been back there like since 2003.
Oh, wow, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how cold does it get? When you say 4 seasons, what's the coldest temperature you've seen it?
Oh man, when I was there years ago when I was a kid, I remember the snow like would be all the way up to my knees. That's how cold it gets. You know,
Below zero?
Yeah, I was just about to say that like it literally like it's below zero, and there's always problems going on and everything as far as people going back and forth to work and stuff.
Now, growing up in Buffalo or growing up in Atlanta, can you paint the picture for us of you growing up? What was it like in each city growing up?
Well, I mean, Buffalo and Atlanta definitely different and everything. I'd say like Buffalo like is more free spirited in my opinion. You know, Buffalo, New York like is more free spirited, you know, compared to Atlanta, just because it's like growing up, I felt like I was an outcast and everything because I felt like I was always being treated different from everybody else. Like I felt like I didn't belong. So I kind of like just had to figure that out for myself and everything as far as how to find myself at that time.
What do you mean you didn't belong? Why were you treated like an outcast?
Well, because of the fact that I didn't speak. You know, like I didn't have that southern slang or southern country slang, like how a lot of the people do down here and everything. And I got a lot of slack for that, and I just, I felt like that wasn't fair. But that's what I had went through growing up. It's not so much of a problem now.
I mean, a lot of people from the north come down south.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people from New York are in Atlanta. A lot of people from New York are in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the rest of Florida as well. So kind of surprising that you would be feeling like an outcast with, I'm sure, other people in New York living around where you were.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, like, because a lot of my friends like are from up north and everything, and the majority was telling me as far as like, the stuff that they went through coming down here too as well.
Now, would you consider your upbringing rough or no?
I mean, I did have a rough childhood and everything, in different ways, different ways, shape, forms, and fashions and stuff. But it wasn't all bad. Like I said, there were times to where like I did have good times and good memories growing up as well. It wasn't all bad.
What was your roughest moment growing up?
I mean, I don't want to go too much into detail, but as I'd say, like as far as going through different types of abuse growing up as a child, and then just not knowing how to deal with it, and then I would sit up there and basically act out on everybody else because I didn't know how to deal with it. But I am in counseling, and I have been in counseling for some years, and I am able to handle things in a different way now compared to how I used to handle it when I was a kid.
There are different kinds of abuse out there. Do you want to leave it as just a general phrased as abuse, or do you want to be a little bit more specific? I know you said you don't want to detail it, but...
As far as, like, just different abuse, you mean?
Yeah, like the abuse that you experienced. Was it a certain type of abuse that you want to share, or do you want to just label it as just general abuse?
Just general abuse. I was going through different types of abuse as a child.
Because you didn't, offer any details or, delve into it, somebody going through abuse as a kid, and what ages were you going through this abuse?
When I was 6, 7 years old.
Okay. Without you sharing details of that, what would you tell somebody going through, generally speaking, abuse? Maybe around those ages, give or take, somebody watching this interview, what would you tell them? What's your words of advice there?
Well, definitely my words of advice is that if you feel like you have nobody to turn to or whatever, or if you feel like you're alone, if you feel like the world is against you, the world has its back turned against you or whatever. I mean, the best thing that I could say is that if you have somebody who's there for you, that's understanding of you, and is there for you through the ups and downs, is there for you unconditionally, try to get as much help as you can and everything to get yourself mentally and emotionally fixed. Because like I said, if it's not dealt with and everything, then it's going to lead to anger and it's going to lead to acting out, because that's what I had went through, because like I said, I didn't know how to deal with my issues at the time, but now I do,
Has counseling helped you? Is that effective?
Yes. It's definitely had helped me a lot in ways I couldn't even imagine.
Is this abuse something that you harbored, or did somebody notice it and it was reported and authorities dealt with it, or are you at liberty to say that?
It was harbored. It was definitely harbored. It was definitely harbored and all, and like I said, like it was showing up in my actions and my behavior, but I just didn't know how to express it or how to say it at that time because I was a kid. And I felt like I didn't have a voice at that time.
Looking back at yourself, do you wish you would have said it out loud, told somebody, told an authority at that time, or how would you look at yourself looking back? And I say that because somebody watching this might be going through something similar. How should they, if it's a harbored situation, how should they act on it?
Definitely, like if it happens and everything, you make sure that you report it. You make sure that you report it, and you ask somebody, or you tell the person or the people like who you close to and everything, that if you don't want to be somewhere at a place that the issues were going on in your home, then just ask to see if you could move out of there, remove yourself from that situation before it gets any worse.
Now, that sounds pretty rough. Aside from that, what type of student were you in school, generally speaking? Obviously, there were parts where you said like you expressed yourself in other ways through anger and stuff like that, so I'm assuming a troublemaker, but I don't know, you tell me.
I'd say I didn't start getting into a lot of trouble until like I was in the 7th grade. That's when like things really started getting rough, things started really hitting the fan when I was in the 7th grade, when I was getting into trouble all the time, to the point to where I was at the point to where I was about to be going to alternative school. Which
means you're expelled from public school and alternative school is the next step.
Basically.
But you didn't have to do alternative school?
No, thank God.
Okay, how'd you escape that?
Well, I mean, I was put on paper and everything as some type of contract or whatever, that if I continue to still keep getting in trouble and everything, that I was going to be sent to alternative school.
I see.
But not just that and all, but some of the situations that I got into, you know, I was getting into fights. It wasn't just at school, but it was also when I was at Job Corps. I had a charge pressed against me and everything. I was charged with assault and battery.
Mm.
Yeah, me and this dude had it out in the cafeteria, and then I accidentally hit the security officer, but I didn't swing, like I threw a bowl of hot beans in her face. So yeah, that was I mean, that was embarrassing, of course, but you know, she was trying to fight me, and then she pressed charges and then wrote a statement and then lied on the statement at that.
So that was the point that almost got you expelled.
Well, no, when I was at Job Corps.
So Job Corps was after high school was over?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I graduated from high school.
Okay, and then Job Corps.
Yeah.
Because can some people do Job Corps while they're in school?
Well, that's the thing that some people don't know either. Like what the fella realizes is that Job Corps, I mean, like I said, is Job Corps is whatever of how you make it, you know. Because some people that go to Job Corps is because like they got kicked out of middle school or high school, and they didn't, you know, basically have no life or didn't have like nowhere to go. And some of them was just like, you know, it was, you know, because they kept going in and out of prison or jail, and they was in court, and it's like it's either go back to jail or go to Job Corps, you know. But some of them, I mean, like I said, some of them had graduated high school. I graduated high school. You know, some people like came from the military to Job Corps. You know, some people wanted to get a trade and everything, get their, you know, high school diploma. You know, I just went there for my trade. I went there for HVAC. Yeah,
I had a brain freeze right there. Now, what is Job Corps exactly? If somebody's heard the phrase but doesn't know what it means.
Job Corps, I mean, is kind of like school and everything. You know, because like I said, they have dorms for people there to live and sleep and lay their head. And but like I said, Job Corps is basically a place where people get their education, you know, the high school diploma, GED, and look at trying to find different careers of what they want to do for their future. And you know, but like I said, that's what it basically is. But that's why I was saying Job Corps is really like just how you make it or what you make it, you know.
I see. Mm-hmm. So you graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
Before we even talk about what you did after high school, let's talk about actual high school. Mm-hmm. Did you do music in high school?
I did. I didn't go to school for the music arts or whatever. You know, I could have, but I didn't. But outside of school, I say outside of school and everything, I was a singer in church. I was a backup singer at church, not a lead singer. And then even before that and everything, I used to play like little instruments when I was a kid and everything. So I had a quick interest in music at a very early age. But when I was in elementary school, like I said, I was doing singing classes. Middle school, I did singing classes. I wanted to do it when I was in high school, but I didn't. They wouldn't put me in for some reason. But in middle school, I used to play the trumpet. I would play the trumpet and I would play the flute. And then I would do the piano.
So you graduate high school. You go to Job Corps after that. Mm-hmm. Did you try college or no?
I did. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. I went to the, college the first time, and I kept going to the financial aid office almost every day to the point to where I was forced to be withdrawn. Second time when I tried to go, I was just checking out the school, and it was just something that I just really wasn't feeling. So, you know, I didn't attend school, but I was just checking it out, and I decided I didn't want to go to the school. Third time, when I was trying to go, they claimed that I owed money at the other school, but it just so happened they mixed my name with somebody else, but they had a different birthday. Mm. So I just got to the point I was like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm going to just work. I'm going to just make money and work.
Are you considered a college dropout or no, not really?
No. I say a college dropout is somebody like that flunked their classes. I didn't flunk anything because when I went to college the first time, I passed my classes. I was forced to be withdrawn, so I had no choice.
I look at a college dropout. I didn't know that's how somebody might have looked at it, as somebody that flunks out. I look at a college dropout as somebody that quit school, dropped out for whatever reason. whether it was financial or whether they just didn't like it, or that's how I normally defined it. I don't know what the real definition is, but that's how I characterized a dropout. You kind of had a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
Now, what college did you attend?
I attended Brown Mackie College in Doraville back in 2009 after I graduated from Job Corps.
And what were you trying to major in?
I was majoring in criminal justice. I wanted to be a probation officer to basically like help troubled people, or people stay out of trouble, basically.
You need a college degree for that?
Well, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't think they needed a college background for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be mistaken. Now, after college, what happened at that point? Did you get right into the music and take music serious, or were you doing other things and then music became serious at another point in time?
Well, actually, while I was in Job Corps and everything, I was over there doing the thing to where I was doing like rap poetries and stuff, and then I was over there like singing in talent shows. My ex-friend, I say my ex-friend because we're not friends anymore, I saw him put on his MySpace years ago that he was looking for new talent and stuff. So I saw that as a great opportunity, and I hit him up about it and everything. And me and him had talked about it, and when I graduated from Job Corps, I was doing different jobs. Then I went to Brown Mackie College, and then when I was forced to be withdrawn, that's when me and him had connected and everything, and I went to his studio, and I started recording music from there.
Mm.
So I always, in the back of my mind, still had that plan. I still had the agenda to do music. I was just doing other things at that time to keep myself occupied.
But after the third failing of college, music was taken serious after that.
Well, no. After like when I was forced to be withdrawn from college the first time, that's when like I was really taking music serious and full throttle.
But you still tried to do college at the same time too. Yes? No?
Not
because you tried it 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time was in 2009, and then the second time was 2015, and then the third was 2016.
Okay. All right. Okay, so my next question to you is, you couldn't get into college 3 times. What was your parents' reaction to that?
Well, I mean, my mother, she felt like it wasn't a good idea for me to get in college in the first place, just because she just felt like, I'm trying to get a job. What am I doing trying to get in school? I'm over trying to like get a job. What am I doing trying to, go in college and stuff? So she was very iffy about that. My dad, I mean, he didn't really have a problem with it as long as I was working or going to school.
I see.
But my dad, like, he thought that, like, I flunked out, and I was just like, no, Dad, I was forced to be withdrawn. I had no choice because I kept going to, like I said, I kept going to the financial aid office almost every day.
Why? Why were you going to the financial aid office every day?
Because they couldn't get my financial aid paperwork situated. So that's the reason why, like, it was a big hassle at that time.
I see. Okay. Jobs you had growing up, if any?
Well, my first job was at Kroger at 15. My second job was at UPS. Third job was at I was working at a club and everything. I was co-hosting for DJ Red Dread and Lady J at 1079 Battlegrounds. I was working as a co-host, interning for them. And well, before that, I was working at Waffle House, and then after those other 2 jobs, I was working at a tax place, working at a car wash, working at a temp service, and I'm still working at a temp service to this day.
A lot of jobs. Why so many jobs?
Well, some of them were seasonal, You know, some of them, like, it was transportation issues. One of them, I had an issue. I had a altercation with the manager, which I don't want to go into detail about that.
Okay.
And well, and as far as the temp service job, I've been working there for over 2 years.
Now, were any of those jobs you mentioned tough?
I'm not gonna say that they were tough, but all I'm gonna say with that is that the only thing that I felt like in my past, as far as like some of the jobs that I had, I felt like communication and transportation was a big factor. But the first job that I had at Kroger, I loved it, but my mom made me quit so I could finish high school and everything, focus more on my schoolwork.
Any crazy stories dealing with any of those jobs? Anything that happened out of the norm?
As far as with anybody or with me?
With the jobs. Anything that happened out of the norm, aside from the incident with your manager?
Well, when I was at Kroger, when I was working at Kroger years ago, right, I remember one of my most embarrassing moments was when I was bagging groceries and stuff, and one of the bottles like had literally busted and got all over my shirt. That was one of my most embarrassing moments. And then when I was in the parking lot getting carts, I would see like couples literally fist fighting and stuff, and then they would get in the car and they would be fighting again. I'm like, God damn. It's like that's what married couples do, or it's like, you know, stuff like that.
Now, did you quit these jobs, get fired from them? You said some of them were seasonal, but the ones that weren't seasonal?
One of my jobs that I was in, yes, I was fired. Two of my jobs I was fired. You know, but my other jobs, like I said, were seasonal and everything.
What were you getting fired for?
One of them was because of transportation issues, getting there on time, and the other one was because one of my managers and everything, I had it out with one of my managers and stuff, and you know, and she was over there being petty, and she was too busy focusing on her personal life on the phone than on the job. It wasn't just me, but a lot of people had issues with her. She got fired herself a year later. It's like, hey, karma's a bitch. God don't like ugly.
You mentioned that you have a job now, currently at the temp service.
Yes, I do.
And you're pretty open about that. A lot of musicians aren't open about jobs that they may be doing, if they are doing them. Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why are you open to admitting, hey, I'm still at a temp job working, and other people keep that quiet?
Well, I mean...
In the music industry, in the music business, being an artist.
Well, I'm not ashamed of speaking about that, and the reason why I'm saying that is because people ask me all the time, since I just dropped new music and a new music video, I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, like, you know, you got all this going on, you got great music, what you doing working here, or well, why are you on, like, what's going on with your music and everything, like, are you making any moves? And, you know, I tell people just like, look, just because you see people who have their music videos, or they see them doing their thing on TV, if you see them having great music videos on the internet and it's doing really good, that doesn't mean nothing. That doesn't mean like, oh, that they're rich or whatever, or they got money. You know, some of these artists and everything have to find a way to really make money to survive, and it's not easy, you know, when you coming up in the music business.
Now, are both parents still in your life?
Yes.
Separated or together?
Separated.
How old were you when they separated?
I was a baby. You know, like I said, I was a baby, and you know, my sister's dad was in my life, my stepdad, but me and him don't talk. So.
Was the separation hard for you to deal with?
Between me, my mom and my dad, or my mom and my stepdad?
Your mom and your both, whatever, you know.
Well, I'm not gonna say that it was rough and everything, but
Was it hard to deal with?
no, it wasn't. It was I'm not gonna say that it was hard to deal with and everything in that sense, just because, what kid, doesn't want to, not be in a two-parent home, but just for different circumstances, different reasons, it didn't really affect me. So I just want to leave it at that.
Now, it sounds like you've been through a lot. In regards to your parents, what's the worst thing you put them through?
Just in general?
Yeah. Was it almost getting kicked out of school? Was it not being able to go to college? Was it something else that you didn't mention?
I guess it's because like how I was always acting out towards them and everything instead of like dealing with my issues and like just making their lives live in hell and stuff just because I wanted them to feel the same pain that I felt at that time.
You mentioned siblings. You mentioned sisters.
Mm-hmm.
How many siblings did you have?
I have one sister and I have 5 brothers. I have 2 stepbrothers and I have 3 biological brothers.
Where do you fit on that ladder? Youngest, oldest, middle?
My 2 stepbrothers are older than me, but as far as my biological siblings, I'm the oldest.
Anyone else do music in your family aside yourself, or just you?
I have a cousin on my mom's side of the family. I think he does music, but definitely like on my father's side, I have a bunch of people that are musically inclined. They're either artists themselves or they play instruments. So, yeah.
Have you had a chance to collaborate with any of your family members musically?
Not yet. Not yet. Even I left this out. Even my father used to be a musician himself. He used to sing, and I didn't know that until like I showed him my music as far as showing him what I've been doing. And he said that he used to sing. And when I was talking to my grandmother about it, I was like, yeah, it's true. He used to sing. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's where I get it from.
What does your family think about your music career, your singing career?
They're my big support system. As far as the people in my family who I'm close to, like I said, they're my big support system. They support me wholeheartedly.
What about your parents? Were they supportive?
They're supportive too, but I will say as far as recently when I dropped my music video called New Panties, right? And it was a music video, like I said, that I just dropped. My mom wasn't feeling the video or whatever, but my dad, he liked to joke a lot and shit, but my dad, he was just like, yeah, you got a chick dancing in the video, but you ain't touching her. I was like, okay, well, Dad, I wasn't allowed to touch her. I wasn't allowed to touch her, and, so, because the dude she was with or whatever and everything was there behind the scenes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Now, were they supportive right away, or did they have to warm up to it?
Well,
the singing career.
I actually was more open with my dad and everything with my music. I wasn't open with my mom about it at that time just because me and my mom wasn't on the best of terms or we wasn't close at that time. So I didn't want to just open up to her as far as what I was doing in my personal life. But now, like I said, since me and my mom are really close and everything, I'm open. I'm very open with her as far as my music, and she likes my music, but just that particular song, "New Panties," she just wasn't feeling. She wasn't feeling the music video. Not so much the record. She just wasn't feeling the music video.
How'd you guys get back together again, you and your mom? She came to you. You came to her.
Well, I just had to basically dig deep in my mind as far as doing a lot of soul surgery and doing a lot of soul searching as far as, why was I acting the way I was and where did it come from and why it happened and how it happened. And then when I realized what it was and everything, and me and my mom was talking about it, and then when I was getting counseling and we was resolving our issues, that's when me and my mom got back close to again.
So the counseling helped bring you guys together?
Yeah, the counseling and then the deep-rooted scars, the deep-rooted issues that was going on in my past childhood.
Now, have they had a chance to see you perform? They've heard your music.
No, they haven't seen me perform yet.
What do they actually think of your music? They're cool with it except for that one song, or that music video, I guess, or?
Well, my dad likes it. It was my dad, but my mom, like, she just wasn't feeling the video. She's okay with the song, she just wasn't feeling the video.
But what about your music, generally speaking? How do they feel about it?
They like it. You know, like I said, they're my big supporters. My mom was surprised that, like, I could sing and all, because I would, like I said earlier, I was singing as a background singer in church, so she couldn't really hear me sing. But when I was letting her hear my R&B music, she was like, "Oh, this is you?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me." You know, I guess just because, like, my voice is deep, and when I sing different tones, I guess she didn't expect for me to sing that way.
Now, have they had a chance to see you perform? I think I cut your answer off a little bit on this.
No, they didn't see me perform yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We spoke about a variety of subjects in regards to your upbringing, but overall speaking, what's your message to the youth? What would you tell them today?
As far as,
just generally speaking, what's your message to the youth? General message to the youth. What would you tell them?
Well, my general message to the youth is that whatever you want to do and everything in your life, as far as following your dreams, don't let nothing hold you back. And if you feel like you're in an uncomfortable situation, or if you feel like you don't want to be around anything or somebody, you know, don't be afraid to speak out and just get yourself out of that situation, and don't overlook it and don't ignore the signs.